You are watching Travel World Online.
Again, the same question, which is a normal standard question for everyone, particularly this year. Although I am sure we will hear and directionally the same thing from you as well. But how has 24 been and 24 been? As I said to my presentation, that you are closer to a breaking, which is excellent. So financially, ED-wise, competition-wise, both how has been in 24? Both from the industry, from your perspective, and most likely to happen in the 2024. So that's the start.
Thanks for being in this one. What would be the topic most of Let's talk about 24. As you said, I think 24 was the first one. It was one of our best years. Last 10 multiple aspects. If you look at it from an operational perspective, we've grown quite significantly. We are almost 25 to 30% in terms of business. And we've also increased a lot of international members. Closing the year with almost 25% international airspace, so that was also very positive. But of course, financially, so we've done much better than before. Mainly on the back of very strong top-line numbers. So if you look at the unit numbers of 24, whether it's yields, load factors, they have definitely been very strong. Of course, same the year-over-year we have perhaps about the first, which was okay. And then, of course, that momentum continued. The other good thing for us is through the year we also added, as I said, a lot of international tours. So that obviously is a place where we are a lot more, we take a lot better international I think probably about the directions, also the year of your effect, compared to the very good. So it's been a bit slow, but I think the rest of the year should be clear.
And is there anything significant which you see as being necessary for 524 or 25 in terms of contributing? Our view is that we will have 524. Almost fuel target, which is a major input, more or less very similar to X25, 24, the currency, similar to I would say, except some seasonal variation, it's more or less the same load factors and potentially going on 2% down. It's more or less going to be similar to that.
I think it would. The only difference perhaps is the amount of capacity. You know the struggle that every other is having. So that has positive and negative effects. Thankfully for us, we have all the data to be built, at least from the but having said that, the knock-on effect from the rest of the industry has failed. I think the other aspect of course is how this plays out in terms of the fares. We have not seen that particular way. In fact, main fares were lower compared to last year. But going forward, I think we need to wait and watch. Right, from a cost perspective, perhaps in some earlier really the company you can imagine keeps track of the customers.
Coming to general question, how do you expect the year to play out? Given your experience in the network, this is what we had a relatively short gap. We've been here for almost 5 years. Very possible to visibility. This keeps coming very regularly in discussions every decade. To ask you what's the future of FSCs, but I think we always first should it really have a very strategic niche, relatively small, and because there is hybridization of LCC models. Is that the way forward?
The way I see it, definitely there is a scope for FSCs. If you look at it worldwide, there are FSCs in markets where there is wide FSCs. Of course, in India, it's a situation where 80% of the market is FSCs. So that does kind of go split when it comes to so it's clear. For scale 5, having said that, I think there is definitely a need in the market for food service carriers. But perhaps the capacity with the fields is able to scale up. We have a little bit more runway, perhaps, in what we can do. But at the end of the day, the question is, there is also always articles coming out from organization what comes in the traveler is like it doesn't mind paying the fine. And we see that, for example, case studies of which when we started off, it was not as maybe we were a little aggressive about it, but then we've seen that picture. In fact, after COVID, the subscription and when we don't deploy so definitely there's a space for it. I'm not just talking about everything, there's businesses. Again, because if you're looking at it, it only comes in a summer transition. You will need an exit right after the last one. So I don't think all of the case is totally lost. Yes, it's not easy. Even as I said, from a competition perspective, pricing perspective, you always have to be out of the list also. But I don't think that is possible.
In terms of your experience, this is how. So the other question is, question as well. Even if you want to maintain food service, how terms will be advised companies for the segment, which means moving across the place, you have to CC so the direction. So my question to you is that in terms of the delta that you get in terms of aid premium, what is the need, what's the cost delta that needs to be, which is closer to an LCC and the premium baseline?
So this is what we do, right? It's the analysis that we can do. The differentiation of the higher cost of the FSC comes from two areas. One is medium to low, because by definition, the full service carriers are very efficiency compared to the cost carriers. And therefore, you lose out X percentage, especially when you're looking at pricing constraint, that plays a role as well, top line as well as the cost. So that's one kind of bunch of costs or assets. The other one is everything that's associated with FSC. Things like multiple damages, distribution fees, things that are innate to FSC. Now, what I can say confidently is that the second part, which is those areas which are so-called due to the model that we operate, we believe that we will be able to cover that based on the right steps. Because the only way you can then be in business is if you are able to cover those costs based on your events. And more or less we've been able to do that to progressively. Now, the first one, which is the low population, is something that is more of a more fundamental one. And again, depending on what premiums you can get on your business, that should be able to cover that. But having said all this, at the end of the day, an airline runs on three things: it's cost, customer, remuneration. And cost is primarily important. So if you just say that, if you isolate these so-called FSC costs, we need to make sure that the other components, which are agnostic, whether it's NCC or FSC, have to be maintained at the lowest level. And that cost discipline, I think, is what is really
based on your long haul and international experience to date in terms of markets and segments, what are the challenges in building a long haul network from India?
I think if you take a step back, we started international operations in 2019, and then we had COVID. In fact, we launched stations with a long haul without even setting foot, because that's how it works. But one of the challenges that you face is coming to scale. So if you just have 2 or 3 flights on the long haul, it's not as efficient, both for the consumer as well as for you. But as you scale up, right now I have 7 executives for you. We will be doing a double day to Paris, Frankfurt, from Bombay, London. I have a Delhi, from Bombay, Delhi, and then I have a Delhi, London, and one. You have a network that's kind of complementary to your capacity. Once you have that scale, you can really pay up and build that connectivity within India. And also, we have a lot of connectivity from outside India, 6 regions. But you need that scale. As you progress towards that scale, of course, you will make money on certain pockets. You may not make money on certain pockets. You need to have that patience to venture. Second aspect, I know there are airports here, you need support from the airports. Because obviously, you do need certain, go with a certain business model where you make it convenient for people to connect from domestic to international from state. Of course, it's not just the entire ecosystem. Things like your CIP, things like that, being able to seamlessly do things which are possible in other countries. I think those are very important. And actually, these are the exact same questions that, to be fair, the ministry is also looking at how to make it. Hopefully, something will be like that.
And in terms of Indigo's decision to start a business class in domestic, do you think it's going to soften or disrupt premium?
You should ask Peter this later. But I'm sure they've done their numbers and their business case. But it really depends on what kind of product is available. It depends on what the soft product is, what the hard product is. So I really can't. But as I said before as well, I think there is a market for more services. So it depends on which schools they go, depending on their model, depending on what they will do. But competition is here. It's part of course. We welcome competition.
Is there any other conditions Indigo's business class could create a new market? Under what conditions do you think business class product of Indigo would create a new market out of Canada?
So again, as I said before, I don't know what the product exactly is. But if you look at what we have a premium product, which arguably you can say is also an economy plus. So there are airlines around the world that use that as a business. So I don't know what the product will be. But definitely there is going to be enough room and there's going to be enough market as time goes on for something that's a little bit above the economy. And I think that's exactly what Indigo is making on because we've said that we look at business loans and the most popular rules and so on. So I don't think it's going to take away from what we carry as full service airlines. Probably it's going to create a little bit pie is not going to be bigger. And we welcome it and we'll see what happens.
In terms of now coming to the specifics of what you were doing in the last hour of this, you are running a business which is closer to breaking now, and it has its own goals and objectives simultaneously doing a merger. What are the challenges of preparing for a merger while simultaneously focusing on performance and
I think there are a few things that I have to be very thankful for, and I think which are definitely going in the right direction. But if you look at running an airline, it's all about managing stakeholders and stakeholders supporting. And therefore, I've been extremely fortunate that my team is just for me human that is strengthened by all the anxiety and all the emergency. And this is an answer of actually every time. But despite all that, we have to evolve, and I think credit for that goes to the then the stakeholders, the shareholders, it's the same shareholders on both sides of the house as well. It's not and then, most importantly, the customers. I think the support that we receive, despite the fact that everyone knows that we will be working sometime soon, our load factors are still one of the highest in the country. So all these are things that can keep us going. I think what we built, the brand that we built, the emotion that's around Vistara, access for my team. The last but not the least, I think there are times when we've made mistakes. We've been nimble enough to kind of make course correction. We've been nimble enough to change and humble enough to say that, okay, we're still up. We're going to wait forward. Which are the things that we break. So once you have that mindset, yes, the integration aspect is kind of one of those things which is an umbrella around you. But the day-to-day operations, people don't talk about it.
I texted you a few times when you were open enough to admit mistake and say that. Does this help in both the external and internal customers? There is a company, there is a CEO who said that messed up and I will make a change. Do you see some difference in how customers and employees react in such a situation?
Okay, let's talk about the external customers first. I think it's easy for people to say sorry, but then you have to do it. Once you start doing that, people who understand that there's something that's changing and people are more than happy to give you excuses. So just to give you an example, even the recent disruptions that we've had, because we were stretched a little bit thin, we took a conscious call to say let's get back. We make sure that customers are at the center of everything we do. We make sure that the person is not disrupted or impacted people. So within a month now, we have the highest quality among all the within a month now, we have highest load factor as well. Within a month now, I dare say we have the highest NPS. So customers are giving us the support that we need. So you've got to deliver. As you say again, credit to my team. The internal customers, I think it's important to hear them out. I think whether it's our crew, whether it's our corporate staff, the first thing I did when things go wrong is to have a talk about the team. This is where we are, and I was very young. Look, some people, there are some areas where we didn't do so well. This is what we're doing about it, and I assure you that we're going to do it. Thankfully, touch wood, we have the right India response.
Now coming back to the critical steps we want to go. Next 12 months agenda, internally, externally,
So let's talk about timelines. I was not here in the morning, but Kannan might told you as well on what we are working towards. There are still certain regulatory rules that we're waiting for. CMD is one of them, which we hope to get in the coming weeks. But the timeline that we are working towards, and eventually we will progress towards the between now and then, there's a lot of things that we should do. First thing is, as we have a joint town hall last month, the most important in fact is the people. Tell the people what exactly their role is, what their fitment is, and what role they will play. As we said before, this is a vertical mode. It's not a vertical cost cutting. So there is going to be opportunities for everyone. And I think we want to make sure that we provide some certainty and some direction on this in the coming weeks. And that's it. Once that is done, then we move on to operationalizing. Assuming we get the approvals, it's not like that. I mean, the airline business it's a little bit more unique. You've got, in my case, 70 aircraft that have to be transferred. We have crew that have to be transferred, and the process is not easy because there's a significant regulatory oversight for a reason. So we're working with the regulators on that. I think that process will start. Once we have the approvals, in fact, we'll be reaching out publicly to customers, to partners, to media, to tell them these are the steps, these are the timelines, and this is what we're going to do. So as we do all that over the next, I would say, few months, yes, there will be some kind of transition of people as well, because more and more we want to make sure that the people who have played such a good role and want to go beyond are also providing that experience against the Indian side. So the people who already started to move, I think that process will be accelerated once we get the CE and so that process will start. Of course, the people who are operational, ground staff, security staff, they will have to wait till the aircraft transfer. That's going to happen towards the last part of this year. After that, the EOC and the sunset.
Are you seeing that some of the network or the routes will gradually move to parents or domestic first or international first, or it's going to be a non-stop language?
Something we're looking on. There are pros and cons. We also look at what happened across various budgets around the world. But we also have to recognize that India is a unique market. Also that we are heading towards the end of the year, which is peak season. We have a lot of other operational issues as well. So it's something that we're still looking in discussing internally, and of course we are that's something which will be publicized by
the other part is that you have built consumer equity option. It's been a long 10 years. And you make sure that the employee is a critical part of the customer experience. So how was the employee mind for the merger of Vistara? Both the consumer part of it and the employee part?
Again, I've been fortunate enough, thanks to Leslie and Peter and the entire team. In fact, a lot of people have been around day one. And they literally put in blood, sweat, and tears to build this brand. So there's a lot of emotional currency that's associated with it. So obviously, it's an emotional decision as well. It's not even me, I wouldn't say it's a walk in the park. But having said that, I think people are very mindful of the reasons why we're doing it. They spoke from both. Overnight, we moved from 70 aircraft to 300 plus aircraft, which means more opportunity, which means there's more chances that someone moves up the career ladder faster. Whether you're a crew, whether you're a ground staff, whether you're a management finance, whatever it is. So I think that part is not lost on people. Generally, there's possibility, again, because the shareholders are the same, the direction is right here. So, again, having said that, there will always be certain queries, there will be questions, there will be sections of pockets of people that need to past where there are questions about it. But my commitment to them, as is my chairman, as is my board, chairman, is to be as open and transparent as possible. And if we can't do something, there's a reason why we can't. When you bring in India or two airlines, there are certain things that can be done, there are certain things that cannot be done. So I think that is something that I'm in constant discussion with my team. Externally, of course, it's something where we do get feedback from consumers as well. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my points? What's going to happen to my flights? So we've started that process of clarification as far as numbers are concerned. And customers who book us, soon will also be telling us once we have details and timelines on how we're planning to do it. So it's a brand that we built with a lot of effort, and it's a brand that we cherish, and more importantly, a brand that India trusts. I think transition to the new brand, a new entity, is very, very hope will be soon. And time will definitely tell that if we do the new better, we deliver better.
Is there a sensitivity of talent pipeline getting impacted or talent not able to retain because of this merger? Is there any chance like that?
I don't think it's only because of the merger. Yes, that's an avenue. But then if you look at the world today, there are new airlines coming up, there are opportunities for subject matter experts in aviation. Within India now there's so much competition for talent, as is even without it. So some of it I think is a need that we have to make sure that we provide an environment where people feel that they are valuable to contribute. But yes, the merger adds an additional leadership. There have been people who left for various reasons, not just because of the merger, but also because of opportunities. But our intent, our focus, between us as well as the individual, is to ensure that we retain this kind of.
Really important question: how is Vistara even without a man? Help Air India in its transformation.
I think some of it is already happening. Some of my people have already moved into Air India also. The real crux of what we've achieved is the fact that we put the customer in the center of everything that we do. And again, when there are changes that are needed, we always have someone from the customer to sit down and say, look, this is what. So that process, that mindset, and the people, the experience that has started. On the operational front as well, I think there are discussions between the various operation teams. The Vistara manuals are being shared, the best the way of doing things. It's not that we are the best, we are the best at doing it, but we have a seat at the table to discuss and debate that. And that's something that I think is going to do. And these are the things that the shareholders who invested so much in Vistara have actually gone on to build from the beginning. So we hope that this will play a role in its already starting and show that that's the same direction.
Which on the operational side or the customer side?
On the operation side, I think the fact that we run a decent ship, where more or less we see many of the operational procedures, processes that we've deployed or employed, whether it's from Singapore Airlines, whether it's from the other carriers, have served us well. And so that's an additional point we are going for Air India to consider. Of course, they have MO processes, and we invest in the process. On the customer side, I think given that it's Kannan, it's a given that the customer wants to express. So it's more a question of adapting what we have on a bigger scale, and that's also something that's happening.
In terms of the recent consolidation of the airline industry in India, I'm not sure whether it will deliver structural benefits in terms of profitability or not, particularly shareholder value. What's your view on that? Where do you stand? What do you think is this consolidation will play out in shareholder value? So, as an industry, not talking about the
Yeah. So, look, you know what happened in the US? The US contains most of the profits from the airline industry today come from the US and Europe. So, obviously, I'm not saying that that's where it's going to be, that's where it's going to go. But in the aviation business, you need patient capital, you need people who are committed to it, you need people who are passionate about it. And I'm not saying that there's a problem. I'm just saying that there is definitely going to be a lot more chances of us as an industry within India doing well, and it's a little bit more structured. So that's what it is.
In terms of one question, is as something the brand comes in, there is a tremendous emotional, let's say, equity across which doesn't get reflected particularly. As a CEO, how are you coping with it? Communicating with them? There must be that deeper impact that something very valuable to people.
More than me, I think it's the thing. There is definitely a feeling that we built something. We built something that is global. We built the best airline in India, one of the top 20 airlines in the world. But again, most of what we built is because of the people. As long as those people are transitioned, that they actually allow you to be there, there's only better ones.
Tell us, it's my view, the day the privatization was announced, Vistara upped its game. Just, to be frank, I'm not saying it otherwise in terms of the measurement. Because the track that's happening on a regular basis. Just turn the scale. And my view particularly was integrating them. Now it will be tough. This is my view. What's your opinion?
let me clarify in case people get their thoughts. It was nothing to do with
No,
I know the timelines may look like
because we came out of COVID and that's
exactly. So it was more that because I think that good or bad, and I think more for good. We were one of the few airlines that actually took aircraft deliveries during COVID. We were one of the airlines that still expanded, and so the benefits of that came because of the other hand, worldwide there were airlines that had to scale. So I think it was more that. And as far as upping the game is concerned, I think it's a function of what the customers demand, and we need to make sure that we are in the consideration set. So we've tried our best to do that, and I think the team has worked hard for our services that customers today appreciate. And that will continue.
It will take time to actually build. So that was the point of it. Okay, just 2.5 years and anything personally which you would want to, any comments that you would want to, but I'm sure there will be a different roles you step up. But generally speaking, your personal learnings over the last 2.5 years.
My learnings, I'm fortunate enough to be working for a relatively young airline which had great fundamentals, and I think I've had the opportunity to kind of work with some great people. I would say, single largest takeaway is give the team the authority, the autonomy, and I try not to micromanage. You should ask some guys that I do, and then they take ownership of the whole strategy. I think the other aspect is when we sit together in management meetings in the boardroom, we find it out. We know that there are issues, there are things that happen across various verticals. But the one thing that stands out is, at the end of the day, how does it look at the brand? How does it look at the customer? So as long as you have that as your North Star, I'm fortunate enough that we have a team that has that. On a personal front, I think working in India, I worked in India, so I'm Indian, for the last 5 years has been a phenomenal experience. Aviation in India is perhaps one of the toughest businesses to be in a business that gives you 3% returns, in a country where you have a lot of other challenges, 70% of your costs are probably not in your control. It's not an easy, it's not an easy game. But having said that, it's also what makes life interesting. There's so many learnings, so many people who come up to you and say, I plan my schedule based on when Vistara flights are. That really needs you.
Because that's both domestic as well as international, and you see more international.
Both ways.
You are watching Travel World Online.